Oh yeah, we're doing it again. We're doing it again. How's everybody doing? Woo! Happy Hump Day. Happy hour hangout to you all. Place is getting a little sparser. If you notice, there's a few things kind of missing and taken down. More on that in just a second. Apollo from Noble. I'm using those today because I've had to box up a bunch of my normal headphones because we've got an open house coming on Saturday at our property, and so the super expensive stuff has got to go. I can't leave that sitting in here like just for anybody to say, hey, look at this, let's check these out, I'd like to have these for myself. This is a nice Sapphire, it would look really good on my head at home. They take off with it. So I've started paring some stuff down, boxing some stuff up, you know, the regular stuff, the regular rigmarole for getting ready to do this. The sale of this house. More problems on the back end. The property we're buying, we're going back and forth with the owners over some water issues, and they seem to just think they're going to go away for some reason. So we're kind of in negotiation on that, but it's kind of fun, you know. It's whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. We're going to wind up somewhere, but it won't be here, that much we know. What's going on in the audiophile world? Well, if you didn't know, Audeze has got their B-stock summer sale happening right now, and we can take a look at that. And this is it. This is the summer B-stock sale from Audeze, and there's a lot of stuff gone. That's part of the problem, is that these things sell out super fast. But there's some nice stuff here. There's an LCD-X, there's some Maxwell's, PlayStation happy ones. Become an insider. I don't think so, Audeze. I'd rather be an outsider. God. There's some XCs for sale, but a lot of the stuff, obviously the ultraviolet Maxwell's, which everybody was kind of hot for, that kind of went away quick. The Wasabis are gone. The one that I really liked was this. I would have gone, if I had the money, this is the one I would have been all over. I really love this Paduk LCD-2. It's still a relevant headphone today, and it's a wonderful, it's really the headphone that took Audeze from, I would say, a boutique to kind of like, oh, they're going to be a mainstream player. I think the 3 and the 4 probably further cemented that, but I think initially that this was the headphone, the LCD-2 for them, and it came out right around the time of the HD-800, and it was really the complement or the antidote if you didn't want to go the Sennheiser route and get that. So I think that's great. So make sure you're checking out the Audeze Summer B-stock sale. And if there's something there you like, you know, kind of save some bucks on it. Why not? You know, $80 is $80 wherever it is. You know, it's a pretty good deal. What else is going on? Saturday, big day Saturday. Saturday is our Hangover Hangout for the month of May. We did a little gathering last weekend. It was just guys hanging out. Some folks dropped by, and it wasn't anything crazy. It was just kind of like, we're just shooting the shit for a couple hours, and it was fun. It was just hanging out and talking about whatever. It was a. But this Saturday is the big one. This is the month of May's big Hangover Hangout, and I am really excited about it because HiFiman is joining us. We have a rep from HiFiman, Mark, who is going to join us and talk to us about all things HiFiman that's going on. And I have got a bundle of questions for him. I'm sure many of the other folks who are over at the Patreon thing are I have questions of their own for HiFiman, and I couldn't be more excited. This is one of my white whales. I've been trying to get HiFiman since I started doing the Hangover Hangout, because they're the big player. They're the big cheese in the headphone world, really. They're such a huge company now, and they weren't always that way. So I really am excited to get a rep to sit down with us and have an open conversation over Zoom. Everybody sees everybody. We can all interact. You go over to my Patreon page. There's a link in the description below, and you click on that. It's $3. $3, and it's going to get it's going to be really a good time. It's going to be a really good time. I'm excited about that. And again, I've been trying for probably since I started the Hangover Hangout to get HiFiman interested in coming on, and boy, this is a big one. I'm really excited about it, man. I'm like, finally get the big player to stop on by. We can talk about anything you want today in the chat. I've got some business we're going to talk about, because after that Hangover Hangout on Saturday, it goes from 9:30 in the morning till noon. At noon, all this comes down. I got to pull all this stuff out, pack it up, and store it for this open house that's happening. So I got to pull my camera out, got to pull the sticks out, the light out. I may leave the microphones in place. I haven't decided yet, but I've got to really gussy this place up for this open house that's happening on Saturday. But that's after the big HiFiman Hangover Hangout. So please join. Get in there. Get your questions in for HiFiman. It's going to be a fascinating discussion. I love that Hangover Hangout. It's really a group of true, crazed people like me for this stuff, and it's going to be one hell of a Hangover Hangout on Saturday. This is the big one. This is the one we've been waiting for a year. So super excited about that. Also need to talk about some merch. Now, I've been showing off merch a little at a time, and we, the t-shirts, the hats, and the two logoed hats that we voted on last week and came up with basically a dead split. Anyway, I've got something to announce on that today, and that is the Directors Garage store is live. It's live right now. You can now go over there, and there is stuff for sale for anybody who's interested. This has been years, another thing that's been years in the making, and I couldn't be more excited about getting that launched. I've been very picky on the products. I've been filling it with stuff that I want, and filling it with stuff that I think you want. And that means that there's a pile of rejected clothing here that didn't make the cut for a variety of reasons. I didn't like the cut of the shirt. I didn't like the cut of the sleeves. I didn't like the way it hangs. I didn't like the way the logo was done on the polos. I found a perfect polo shirt, but then they won't do a stitched logo. I'm not going to sell a silkscreen logo on a polo shirt. It's going to be stitched, or we're not selling it. So how do you get to this thing? What's the deal? Well, you go to there's a website now, and it's directorsgarage.com. And directorsgarage.com, you can go over there right now. It's live, and I'm going to show it off a little bit on the air today, and then it's off to you guys, to the masses. We've tested the shipping stuff. The shipping seems to be all working. 4 to 6 weeks seems to be about the turnaround, but I've been getting stuff in 10 days. So very excited that that's working. Let's go take a look at the website. Whoops. No. We're going to go there, and we want to, let's go back from here. Okay, so when you go to the website, you go to, let me call up the MacBook. Okay, there we go. Laptop of death. And you go to directorsgarage.com. It's kind of fun how it comes up. There's a little animation dealio, and you get my mug. sitting there looking at the Holy Grail. And there's a button up here in the top that will take you back to the front page. This front page is mostly just like showy offy stuff. Some of the things we're selling: hats, t-shirts, mugs. And, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, we need to do product placement on this show, but, you know, it's a quality mug, a decent sized quality mug for your coffee, hot chocolate, laced coffee, whatever it is you're drinking these days. All right. But yeah, it's here. This first page is just kind of for show. Showing off some stuff. We've got socks, we've got hoodies. Somebody was asking about hoodies, and there's a little message from me on the front that I wrote up. And then here's some samples of some of the things we're selling. And then there's a little reach out if you want to make an account or whatever, so you're aware of when something new launches. We'll make announcements if I can figure out how to do that. But the magic button is this one here. This is the shop now, and you click on that and it takes you to a product page, which has got nice little hover effect going on here for the t-shirts. We've got the t-shirt I'm wearing right now is the standard t-shirt, which is up here, up at the top here. These two, this is in black. There's also a white version of it with a black logo. And then there's the crew neck, which is a wider neck, which I have not shown off on the show yet. And I'm excited about that. The crew neck comes in black and white. And then there's just a regular Director's Garage shirt with the Music is Life on the back. That's kind of my going logo on this thing, as I've been showing off. And that guy's AI generated, believe it or not. He's not a real model that we had model it. It's fun. It's amazing what they're doing. I've got a woman's tank, but it's not in stock right now. They're having some problems with stock on that, but whatever. It's not something that's at the foremost of my attention. There's a long sleeve tee, and then there's a very expensive sweatshirt, which unfortunately is up there in price. But there's a reason, and that's because it is Champion brand, and Champion makes an outstanding sweatshirt, and I wanted to offer it to people if they want a good quality sweatshirt. Logos, I don't remember if the logo's stitched on that or if it's silkscreen, but I really wanted to do a quality sweatshirt, and Champion is the brand that I chose for this, and I could get it, but it's expensive. But at the same time, a good Champion sweatshirt has lasted me 15 years, and that's what I want. I want clothes that last. So I've been trying to find stuff that's stitched well, that I like the build of, all of that stuff. So there is a sweatshirt there, but it's expensive. I'm fully admitting it up front. I'm sorry. I haven't been able to keep the cost of that one down because the blank, I'm making next to nothing. It's a couple of dollars that I make on it. Most of the cost is going to Champion. So unfortunately, we do have two styles of hoodie. I've got an unzippered hoodie and I've got a zippered hoodie. Both with a little bit of a larger logo on it. And then the hat dilemma starts playing out. We've got the small logo, we've got the large logo. You can get them in either the distressed black or in the gray, the distressed gray. I love this cap. I love the look of this cap. I'm a big fan. I really do think this is a cap that I would buy and wear, and I've been wearing these nonstop. I've been wearing these when I'm working around the house. They're shaped the way I like. They're not like a big front billboard thing and then go back. They're not trucker hats. These things are like a denim sort of ish material, front to back, weathered. And then on the back it says stitched, Music is Life. I did as much stitched as I could get into this line. I love a stitched logo. I'm a big fan of that. So we've got 4 varietals of hat, black in the large and the small logo. Some fun socks. I doubt anybody will ever buy these, but they're fun and they're cheap, so why not? And then we get into some of the more like hardware stuff. The mug that I'm holding right here, for sale. I love this. It's got the Music is Life, and on the back it's got my little Director's Garage logo sort of hidden from view. Just kind of fun. Same thing on all of these things. The water bottles, there's a screw top water bottle that'll fit in your car. Whoops. Let's go back. Then we get into the water bottles. There's a screw top water bottle that will fit in your car holder. It's got a little director's garage kind of hidden on the back of it, but it's got the big Music is Life across it, which I just love. And then a larger tankard available in 3 sizes if you're a hiker like I am. I've got that. It should come today. I was hoping it would be here by the time we went live, but this is a beautiful little product. I love a big, heavy water bottle. I use these are on my desk constantly. They're tip friendly. They don't, they don't spill over as much. I keep an iced tea here. I knock this tumbler over probably once every month and a half, honest to God. And it goes all over the desk, and I do an emergency cleanup because I'm reaching for something. I love having a water bottle with a screw top, and I should really start putting the iced tea in this. That would be the smart thing to do, but I'm not a terribly smart person, as you might know. So that's the hardware stuff, and then we get down to fun golf ball. I saw the golf balls, and I'm like, oh, let's just throw them up there and see if anybody likes them. I think they're fun. There's a bag that I was on order. I haven't gotten it yet. I don't know if this is going to be on the cheaper end of things. Just a little, like a record kind of bag. You can put some records in, maybe. I hope it's the right size. I want to get it in here and see what it is. And then we've got some stickers here that are just fun. You can put these on anything, and they're kind of just fun little add-ons. So that's the collection as it starts. Coming still, there's a polo. There may be a revision on the bag, because I really want a bag that will hold a record album. That would be kind of fun, I'm thinking, to have I want to make sure that bag will hold. I'm not sure it will. I'm not sure the size of it. So I got to get that in-house yet. I haven't had that, that hasn't arrived yet, that sample. But I really want one that'll hold records, because what a great way to carry around your records in a Music is Life bag. It's kind of fun. Holly's over there tearing up the room. He's really upset that I've been putting so much stuff away. It's like, it's really disturbing his mojo that I'm messing with this house this much, and he can sense that something's up. He just doesn't know what. But that's the collection. Again, the web address is directorsgarage.com, and that website is live. You can place your orders now. I will give you a hint. If you've been thinking about Patreon, now is a good time to get over there, because there is a special bonus on the store for Patreon members, and it's healthy. So if you were thinking about Patreon and you want to see the HiFiman episode anyway, even if you're not able to go live, you'll get a video of that, a link to a video of that conversation with HiFiman if you weren't able to make it live to the thing for some reason. But Patreon members have gotten a little thank you for supporting the channel in that way. So lots of stuff happening. Lots and lots of stuff happening. I'm trying to do that and sell the house at the same time. It's been a journey, fellas. I've boxed up more crap. My headphone collection is right now upstairs and lined out. So like I've got to put all those away in advance of the open house. The only couple that have survived are my Carbon, because I've been listening to them at night and taking some notes for a future review. My Sapphire has stayed out for now, and my Abyss, because the box is under the house for the Abyss, and I've got to go get that. So that's the gist of what's happening in my world right now, and it's been all about getting this store launched and making sure I've got the right permits, because you can't sell in California without a permit. So my permit is all lined up. The store can go live, and everybody can go over there and start checking out the gear. And there will be more stuff coming. I've just started getting this stuff out. Like I said, the Polo is going to come as soon as I find the right vendor, and it's exciting, man. I really love this stuff. This is something that I've been wanting for a long time to do. And there's still some Director's Garage stuff there if you want to do it direct support to the show. But if you just want something that's like a personalized, like, it's cool. It's just cool. I love this stuff. It's fun. It's been fun to design. It's been fun to see it executed and get these products out and in my hands. And I've been wearing them nonstop. I just love this stuff. I hope you guys do too. So there you go. That's the merch line. Directorsgarage.com is launched, and that's great. Now, nobody sent me anything to check out, to look at this week. No, I got no viewer systems. So if you have a viewer system, that email address is here. It's directorsgarage@gmail.com. directorsgarage@gmail.com. Send your photos over, and we'll put them on our live stream, which is a lot of fun. We love looking at folks, you know, their latest rigs, their little portable rigs, their huge home systems. We've had $100,000 home systems. We've had $50, you know, earbuds and an iPhone. All great. We just want to check out what you're listening to, what's turning you on right now. So that's we got nothing there for this week to look at. But if you send something over, maybe I can get it on the air. What else has been going on? Oh, I had one Patreon guy try to cancel a viewer, Marco. He wanted to cancel his membership, which is just fine with me. If you don't want to be on it, by all means, don't. But he's having some problems with Patreon downgrading his subscription to 0. And I've sent him a couple of emails. I just want you to know, if you're not happy with something or you want out, please, get to me sooner rather than later. Make sure you email me at that Director's Garage, directorsgarage@gmail.com. Make sure you're using this email address, because this goes right to me. And I've responded to him, but I think it may have gone to his junk because he never got back to me with what he wanted me to do. He was trying to cancel. He couldn't figure out how to cancel, so he asked me if I could cancel him, and the answer is no, I can't. I don't have no control over what somebody subscribes to or doesn't. The best I can do is block him. I can block him as a user, and maybe that would cancel his account, but I would suggest you go with Patreon, start emailing with Patreon to get that done. And I don't want anybody unhappy. This whole channel is built around the joy of this community, the joy of this hobby. It's just guys hanging out, sharing their stupid passion for stuff that we shouldn't be spending money on. You know what I mean? And that passion has led me to make some fun stuff that kind of celebrate it without being too obnoxious. And that's sort of the idea behind the merch line. And people have been bothering me for years to get up a merch line. So this is the launch. It's nothing that's too obnoxious. It's just tasteful stuff done well. I can't stress that quality is my first concern. I was more concerned about quality than price, because I think most of us in this hobby drop a lot of money on it. We do. We spend a lot of money on, I was looking upstairs and I have my headphone collection all boxed up in their own little cases, and they're all lined up, and I've got probably 20 headphones up there. And I'm like, there's over $20,000-$30,000 worth of headphones here. And I'm like, we're a group that pays more for quality. And I'm like, if I can't deliver you something good in a shirt, then I don't want to sell it to you. I don't want you to get something that's crappy. And like, it's not like the t-shirts that you'll get outside of your concerts. The guys on the street, you can buy the official concert t-shirt, which is always a well-made shirt, or you can go out on the street out front and there's a guy selling them out of a box who he printed up himself, that kind of thing. And I didn't want that quality. I want to deliver really good stuff. So super excited about that. I'm going to start going through the chat now, and we'll get to your questions. Anything you've got to say, anything you've got to comment on, please put it in the chat, and we'll go through this, and we'll send you on your way for the rest of the week. And I'll get ready for Saturday. I'm so excited for Saturday, guys. If you can make it, please. It's $3. It's less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and you'll get access to all the old Hangover Hangouts with the likes of Zach from ZMF and God, just we've had so many great guys. The Rawl guys, the Danny from Rawl. Kai Moulton from Noble has joined us a couple of times. We've had Ray Samuels on from Ray Samuels Audio. I mean, just these are great little things, you know, insights into what people are thinking when they're making these products and how did they come about and stories behind them. I just love a good story, and these guys are loaded with stories, so come on. So very good. Cheeky Fest is here. Cheers, my friend. Thank you. To be stock or not to be stock. Talking about the Audeze B-stock sale. Howdy, gents, says Hipster Cow. Glad you're here, Hipster. I really hope you can make it, my friend. Sajan, I hope you can make it on Saturday because your input is always you, Gene, Jonathan, although Jonathan may have bowed out. I think Jonathan bowed out of the Patreon for a while. I think there's you've probably got home stuff. He hasn't been able to join us in a while, so maybe it just like made sense to take some time off and come back when he can. Jonathan, you're always welcome if you're out there, brother. I always appreciate your perspective and your questions. G-Fest, M. Orange is, he's apologies, he's late. Sorry, brother. He joined us last weekend on our little hangout, on our small hangout. And looking forward to seeing everybody on Saturday. Cheeky Fest, funny enough, he just got back from Shakespeare's Globe 30 minutes ago. Oh, that's good. Are you in London, Sajan? What's going on there? Mr. 44 KWG says, and cheers, brother, for joining us. I have not seen that handle on this show, and we raise a glass to anybody who's new. On the happy hour hangout, it is happy hour, so you know we all got to be sucking back a cold one, or we ought to be. He has a mint LCD-2 if anyone's interested. Ooh, God, I love the LCD-2. I always wanted one of those. I've heard them many times over the years, but I've never had one for my own. Can't afford one right now because I'm broke, but you know that's going to change very shortly. Isoparometrics Class A amp candles that catch on fire and melt. Class A amp candles that catch on fire and melt. Are we talking about the... Is that a merch line possibility? Nice parametrics. What did you see, Hipster Cow? Oh, because he was over at the Munich thing, wasn't he? Crucible. The Crucible. Okay. They didn't have any good Shakespeare's plays. Okay. I haven't seen the Crucible. We're talking, see, you could tune into this show and you'll get anything. And right now you're getting literature. Is there a restocking fee for returns on the store? I don't know. I have no idea. Probably not. I have no idea. We'll work it out, whatever it is. I don't think so, but nobody said anything to me. I'll look into it. It's definitely worth it. Cheeky Fest, are you in London? Oh, to go to the Shakespeare Theater. Yeah. Director's Garage thongs, underwear coming to a store near you. If you'll wear it, I may build it. So fun, man. Neil, given the condition, you'll send them back in. He can't legally put them back in stock. Yeah, I know. Oh boy, that is one classy website. I just was trying to get it done. Making all that stuff happen and making it connect. Boys, it's a whole other thing. You know, I'm an editor and a graphic person. I'm not a programmer, and getting stuff to click and then click through and go to the right place. It's like, oh my Lord. It's been Herculean to get this thing up and running, and then get vendors and money and like all of this stuff attached to everything, and then you need a permit to sell in California as a vendor. It's nuts. Yeah, very different stuff. Neil, we did that. Nephilim, you making fun of my website quality, man? I tried really hard. Neil is an alumnus of Attica State Prison. In July, they're holding their annual fashion week. Would you be willing to outfit one of the runway inmates? I might be willing to walk that runway if I can't pay my bills by then, my friend. If we're still in this house, if they haven't foreclosed and arrested me for lewd and lascivious conduct. As a parametrics, he has a water bottle already, different color, different company logo. Oh, okay. Well, I have actually have several of those. I have one from the Grammy Awards. I have one from the Washington Post. I like that water bottle, and doing one in white seemed to be really cool. I just enjoyed it, and you know, I just like supporting this hobby, sort of, you know. It's fun. But we're doing two different kinds. If you want a larger water bottle, I use these all the time down here, so that'll be coming to a future episode. You'll be able to see what it is. If you printed a picture of a golf ball and a golf ball with a golf is life on it. I don't golf, guys. Just saw it and thought it was fun and thought I might be able to design it. And maybe I could put my face on one and then y'all can act like you're whacking my head. That's an idea. There's a concept. Let's get the director. 4! I should have yelled 2. You know that line. Neil Snyder, is the logo on the water bottle stitched? Yes, it's a seepage material. It's a weep. They call it a weeping water bottle. It weeps out the water slowly. The crew socks, full stop. I think you got to get the ankle highs, and then you wear those with shorts. That could be fun. FYI, oh yeah, this is big news. And Neil dropped this on Saturday. His B21 amp, he's selling his B21. He wants to go in another direction for his. He's not listening to the E-stats enough, and he wants to go in another direction. So there you go. That's one of the first I've heard for resale of these B21s. So if you're interested, you might be able to save $1 or $2. Say it ain't so. It ain't necessarily so. He's going to buy a Flex Labs Mentor stack. 2 amps for 1 channel each, 33 watts each side. Going to put the 10K in the bank. What about E-stats? Yeah, he's going to lose the E-stat side of that amp. Oh yeah, Ukrainian company Flex Labs has been hearing decent things about them. The wait times for orders are a bit long though. But Neil can live without the E-stats. His X9000's almost new is for sale. See, that surprises me. We were talking about this on Saturday because the X9000 is such a good classical music headphone, and Neil loves classical music. So, but they're definitely a specific sound if you're not into it. I just thought that headphone would be would tickle your ivories, so to speak, Neil. And he feels good supporting a Ukrainian country. Okay, Director's Garage, perfumes, burnt electronics, exploding capacitors. Now that could be fun. I do have some old electronic. I could get, Director's Garage logo, some of my old capacitors that I've pulled out of some of this gear and sell those. Oh, it's like you're in the room with me, guys. The smelly, stinky, burned out electronic smelling capacitor. Isoparametric steel, a page from Elrog's book. Yeah. I think I showed off on one of my Hangover Hangouts. I still have a pair of Elrog tubes here, but one of them is completely blown. It's one of the original Elrog 300B tubes. And that whole drama was terrible. And as a result, I'll never buy another Elrog tube again. But yeah, I could put a Director's Garage logo on the side of my burnt Elrog 300B tube and try and sell that. It won't work, but it will light up your world with my beautiful logo. Oh, Elrog tubes. Yes. Hipster Cow got bad news from Michael. He's going to be on a flight back from London during the call. Oh, no. Man, Hipster, Sajan, I really want you there, man. I'm so sorry, brother. I really would love to have you on that call. You add so much to the discussion always. All you guys do. very excited about this, man. We don't get the likes of HiFiman very often, and this is going to be a really good one. I'm super excited for this. I hope everybody can make it for the HiFiman live stream. That's going to be amazing on Saturday. Oh, man, it sucks that you're going to be on the plane, though, man. Yes, he's in London. He went to the Globe once around 2007, but haven't been since. Oh, I would love to. That's a trip I always wanted to make because I've been stationed in London for work for a number of times. That's a trip I always wanted to make. It's over there by the big Ferris wheel, just a few blocks from there. I always wanted to go to the Globe, though. Nephilim says, Michael, my dear friend, no sarcasm. I honestly think you did a wonderful job. The website is truly impressive with your ambitions and business sense. Yeah, I had one friend kind of help me out on how to get merch made, but most of that website was done myself, and it shows with the spelling errors. Spelled director wrong, though. Just kidding, guys. So fun. Yeah, I am trying to make this something that I think is cool that everybody can participate in and have a good time. And I just love the shirts. They're so comfortable. They're so comfortable. I wear these all the time. M. Orange says, any albums you've been going over this week? He ran through Foo Fighters' Gold and Concrete again. Forgot how great an album it was. Beat Trio with Flex Sanchez and Castaneda were a blast. I have done no listening since we last spoke, but I was telling everybody I sort of went through a. I'm going to copy those over because I want to check out those records. I went through a big Southern rock trip, and I was listening to all of the great Southern rock music from the 70s, and I've been doing a lot more of that and listening to some ZZ Top on headphones in the room and listening to them on the Carbon, and I'm like, I think that there's better headphones for ZZ Top, but listening cold on the Carbon, it really is kind of that. It's an all-around performer. It's a very solid electrostatic that doesn't shove itself specifically into one lane the way that the X9000 does. So I find it to be far more useful in a variety of listening situations because it just delivers more bottom end, and it's detailed without the hyper detail. Makes it a little more on the musical side of things. It really is an amazing E-stat, and it's fast becoming my favorite electrostatic. I have not been doing much X9000 listening since I've got the Carbon 2 in-house. I'm very impressed with this headphone. It really feels, if I was gonna, I don't want to compare it sonically to this, but where it fits in my head, in my collection, is sort of the atrium of E-stats. It's a headphone that is solid, that you can go to with any genre, and it's going to give you a good experience. Now, does it do some things better than others? Yes, absolutely. But it's such a solid performer, and it brings you so much. It brings you a ton of detail. Way more detail than the Atrium does. But it's that feeling. It's a comfortable headphone. It no longer pops and blasts your ears when it shorts out. When you get the Stax fart situation, you've got to really work to make it happen, and you can make it happen. But it's nowhere near as bad as it was. They've really fixed that headphone in a number of significant ways and given it more bass, and I'm a big fan of that. So I've been listening to this Carbon. That's been my main headphone for the last few weeks. I've really been listening to a lot of it, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's a great E-stat headphone and something anybody should audition. And I think that those of us who got a chance to listen to it, Ken from Ken's Workshop, Sajan and Jonathan all got to check out. I think we all were pretty much in agreement. This is a really high-end quality headphone worthy of anybody's consideration. I think a number of guys were considering buying one. I just delivered mine and had them do the upgrade to my existing Carbon. So really fantastic headphone. Oops. That's got some cable issues right now because it's caught up on some other cables. But these are an amazing headphone. This is a worthy headphone. But I would encourage anybody who's considering an E-Stat to check them out. It's a very good headphone. And it should be for the price, but you know, they deliver sonically what I would expect, and it's certainly not a disappointment in any way. Ice Parametrics, he's been out of the tube game so long, and now and head at work, and things he forgot who they were for a moment. Wait a minute, he's been out of the tube game so long now, and head at work. and things I forgot who they were for a moment. Okay, I'm not sure where. Oh, you're talking about Elrog. Okay, out of the tube game for so long you forgot about them. Okay, there was a comment on Elrog. I'm sorry, it took me a second to catch that. Mr. K says it's been a long while since he's joined the stream. Hello, director. Hello, Mr. K. Very excited you're in the house today and could join us. Cheers, my friend. Excited. M. Orange. Oh, here comes some album recommendations. Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. Flight of the Cosmic Hippo. Amazing sounding album, highly recommended. Okay, copying that over. I love this. We're getting music recs today, man. This is awesome. Going into my show notes. Very good. Very good. Bella Fleck is a fantastic musician. M. Orange, Nephilim 81, heard some of it late one night, one bluesy night, but he needs to get back to it. Yeah, I'm going to plead some ignorance on this one. I may have heard, but I haven't. I got to spend some time here. I got to spend some time with Bella Fleck. Definitely worth your time. Enjoy, my friend. I love that album. Okay, so we're gonna jump into that. It's OG Meze Attractive. Oh, you mean the Carbon 2? Yeah, I mean, I think it's an improvement in looks over the original. The original was all silver based. Everything was silver on the thing. The grills appear to be the same, but they did change out. Obviously, the posts are now this rose gold. They've added the SLAM technology spacer in this thing. You can't remove the ear pads still, which is kind of a bummer. I would love to be able to take the ear pads off of this thing and check out, see what's going on underneath. They apparently don't want you to do that as down at Audeze, but I would love to be able to see that. Audeze has never had removable pads. You've got to really unglue. You got to get into the glue business if you want to take them off. And that's been solid, I think, throughout their whole line. I can't remember an Audeze with a removable pad. If anybody can, put it down in the comments here. But yeah, they always glue their ear pads on. Like, we tuned it, leave it alone. Some of these other guys have developed systems for us to remove the ear pads. Like even the Sapphire HiFiman has always had some sort of removable, for at least in all their recent releases, anyway. Yeah, sorry that was confusing. That's okay, brother. That's fine. It's Wednesday. We're all confused. You guys. Yeah, it's stunning. I do think it's an attractive headphone. Main gripes, if I'm going to hit the construction, you still can't take they haven't put a removable cable on it. That would be nice. It would be nice to remove the cable for storage. I don't like this thing on here. I'm afraid I'm going to, kink it or something and make it kinky. But that bothers me a little bit. But other than that, the removable pads would have been a nice addition, but in general, I mean, the headphones sound so good and it is so comfortable. It is up there in Meze quality. The only thing I would say is it's a warmer headphone than I remembered. My ears get warm in that thing after long listening sessions. So best listened in air conditioning. if you're going to do a long session. That's what I would recommend with the Carbon 2. Isoparometric said, any of you guys listen to any of the AI music on YouTube described as lost vinyl? Some of it is funny. No, I don't spend much time with AI music. It keeps getting better, and it's kind of interesting because if you go to some of the AI websites, you can actually check out what other people are doing with it. And that's kind of interesting to see where it's going. And it's a little scary if you're a musician, because you don't need to play music to make music anymore. And that's pretty scary. It would be an interesting... There's going to be at some point a bleed over AI created album that hits the mainstream, and somebody's going to then reveal that it was all AI, and people are going to be shocked. I think that that's coming. It's just a matter of time, because the quality gets better and better with every iteration of AI, and it's, I was having a discussion with somebody about AI, and we'll get into this a little bit. Why not? I was having a discussion with somebody about AI and how it's going to change life for creatives. And their comment to me where they took the discussion was that, nobody wants to type in commands for how to do something. Nobody wants to have to sit there and say, make me a photo of a hippo riding a bicycle, and have to type it in, and then you have to do variants on it to put trees in the background and add some water in the thing, and get all these variations until you get the one you want. Nobody wants to type this stuff. And my answer was, how long did command prompt last when computers first came home, when we first got our home PC? Remember when you would, and this is maybe a discussion for a third of the audience, because this is for us older folks who remember command line prompts. When you got your first computer, you could run, if I had an Apple IIe or Apple II Plus, one or the other. This is before Macintosh, before the Macintosh was out. I had an Apple II, and it ran off of DOS, Disk Operating System. And DOS was a command line system. So if you wanted to make the computer do something, you had to write a routine. So you'd use BASIC, which was coded by using numbers. So you'd write 10 x equals 3. And then you'd go 20 y equals 4. And then 30 would be x plus y equals, and I think you'd put a question mark in. And then the next one would be print 30. Your equation. So you would have to write out, and then you'd push enter, and it would give you the answer 7. Which is something that you could just do in your head. But it was the idea that you're making the computer do the stuff. And then eventually I got into some advanced programming languages like Fortran, and we did stuff that was more graphic oriented, where you're actually manipulating pixels around a screen and telling it to do things. And this is way back. This is going back a long time. I don't remember how to do much of this stuff at all anymore. But command line was the beginning of computers, of home computers. And if you wanted to run, say, a spreadsheet, you would put a disk in the drive, and you would write run Excel, and then it would launch the Excel program, which would give you your spreadsheet that you could work on. That lasted for about 3 years, and Microsoft came out with something called Windows 3.0, and this was after, and maybe then Macintosh also came. It was it was just a matter of a couple of years, and you already had a graphic interface to do this stuff, to do your main operations. And instead of typing in run Excel, you could now click on an icon on your screen and launch Excel, which is what we do today. And my point is, this command line that we're doing, this prompting that we're doing with ChatGPT right now, and with these other AI, websites, This is phase one. There's going to come a point, I swear to God, you mark my words, there will come a point at which a simple gesture or a simple push of the mouse and you'll be able to do something, create and enact an AI response. So you imagine being in a music app and you've got a camera on you and you just start doing stuff like this. And the AI is going to react to your hand movements and it's going to start producing music, maybe in time with this hand, as this hand does something else. And you're going to be able to play music and interact with AI and create something, make a creation. You're going to be able to take a stylus. I don't have one handy. Do I? Yeah, I do. You'll be able to, oh, I guess I don't. Oh, there it is. So here's a stylus that you would use on a tablet. And you're going to be able to do a swoop. And you're going to be able to tell AI to do something with, make that swoop do something, interact with something. To make an art something, make a drawing and enhance a drawing and come up with an idea for what you could do, or give you 5 ideas based on this one swoop. Give you options for what it can be, what this swoop can be, this simple motion. All of this stuff is coming. It's going to be something different. And these are just ideas, this is no hard, I have no hard knowledge of what it will be, but it's going to be something else. It's not going to be sitting here typing for very long. It will be something else. And you're going to be able to speak to it and just say, take my resume, which it already has stored on the cloud, and generate a cover letter for Plantronics. Throw a shout out to Neil. For a Plantronics job application. And it will take your resume and it will produce this thing. It's going to be interactive in a way that we haven't seen before. And that's what's coming. That's the next. It's going to become easier and easier to use, and it's going to be more and more integrated into our lives. Smart technology combined with AI will be able to produce different things. Think of a scanner on the inside of your refrigerator that will notice when, hey, you're running low on butter. Would you like me to order some? Click the button. Places your order, butter comes. Like, it's going to be things like that, things we haven't considered yet. There's going to be a wave, we're in stage 1 of this AI workflow. And it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs along the way, unfortunately. And that's part of my struggle right now, is that they're finding cheaper and cheaper ways to do things, maximize profits, at the expense of human beings doing things, and you see what happens. I'm out of work, or that's one reason. There are a variety of reasons the industry is where it's at, particularly in Los Angeles. Some of it is the government's not helping us, but these are things that are coming. It's just a matter of time until we figure out how to best implement these new systems, and how to weave them into our daily lives in ways that will make our lives better or easier or maybe worse. Who knows? Depending on your perspective. So AI revolution is coming, and it's a matter of time before somebody who's never learned a note of music in their life produces a full-blown album with vocals and everything that sounds phenomenal, and they'll wonder where's this band? Where can I go see them live? And they're like, you can't, because it doesn't exist. The best they can do is put a band together to play the AI music in a live setting. But that's coming. That's coming. It's just a matter of time before it does. Ask HiFiman to start sending you some of their headphones to demo review, especially the HE-1000 Unveiled. I'm more interested in the technology of the Unveiled and where it's going. But you know, I've been meaning to get with Rawl because I want to get their two Magna and the other one, the big one that everybody uses, the Imanis. I want to get both of those headphones here, and Danny has said, hey, just hit me up and we'll make it happen. Right now I'm not in a space where I can really do a lot of reviews because we're so focused on getting the household, getting our lives moved forward. A headphone show is, you know, taking a little bit of a backseat for the time being, and we'll get back to it. It's going to happen. It always does. It always comes back around, boys, and we get back into it. And I've got a review sitting here that I'm still working on, but I had to take the teleprompter down. I had to take all the stuff down in the room that lets me do a show because we're going to be doing viewing on Open House on Saturday. So I've got everything except the camera torn down. So as soon as the live stream on Saturday with HiFiman is over, I have to emergency take all this stuff down, box it up, and get it out of the room so that the room is presentable to people who want to come and see the house. It's still going to look weird as hell because I've got 2 edit desks in this thing back to back, but at least it will be, they'll be able to get an idea of what the room looks like, and because I'll take the lights down, and that's going to be a thing. So anyway, that's coming. AI-powered parody music would be highly entertaining, depending on the use to generate. Any channel specifically, or will Lost Vinyl get me there? You may be. I think you just do searches on YouTube, and you'll probably come across some stuff. Saw the new Wet Leg music video. I'm a big fan of Wet Leg. I don't know if you guys remember them from a couple years ago. They did Chase Lounge, and they had a big hit album, and they won a bunch of Grammys for it, but they've been kind of dormant. They took a year off. They've got a brand new song out, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's not BPM, but it's something like EKG. That's something heart related, but look up Wet Leg and music videos on YouTube, and then it'll come up with their most recent one. And it's just them riding in a car, and it's really interesting because it's all slow motion. It's shot in slow motion, and it took me a minute to figure out what was happening because she's in time with the music and she's singing the lyrics in time, but it's in slow motion. So I'm like, how'd that happen? And then it dawned on me. What they did was they had her sing the song really slow. And the playback, when you're doing a music video, you're never playing live. None of those bands play live. It's all played to a track that they pump in, and then you're playing along with a backing track, which eventually replaces what you're playing at the times. So if they mess up the performance, it doesn't really matter because they're going to be using a track anyway. But what they did was they slowed the song down to half speed or maybe a third speed, and then played it back to them, and they had to emote singing the lyrics in slow motion so that when they played it back in real time, they were in time. A very interesting process, but I'm like, it took me a minute to figure out what the hell was going on with this video. I'm like, how is her hair in slow motion, but she's singing the music live as if it's live? I'm like, that's what they're doing. That's how they do it. If you're not making it, if a human isn't making it, then it isn't music. I don't know that I agree with that, Cheeky Fest. I would divert from that, and I would say music is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, you know, it's good music or bad music, but it's music. It's you know, sound set to time with a singer. You know, it's just that they're not human generated. It's basing it off of every piece of music ever recorded, and somebody came up and said, make me a country song, you know, with a fast beat and female country singer, and then maybe they fed it some lyrics and it made all that into a song. You know, I don't know, and it sounds real enough to pass, you know. But it's interesting where it's heading, and I think it's a matter of time. You're not going to know. The thing is that you won't know until somebody tells you after the fact. You'll be like, wow, that's a really good song. Who did it? Oh, the melody makers. Okay, well, let's look up melody makers. They have a new album? No. It turns out that it's just an AI app, all that stuff. Before command line, we had punch cards. I never got the pleasure of using punch cards. But yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah, back in the day. Stuff like that out there. He uses CLI every day for work still. Yeah, all these different apps are making their way into our daily lives, I was starting to think Wall-E was prophetic, or some cross with that end idiocracy. Yeah, I mean, no, and the dangers of, the Terminator is the darkest place we could take it. You have automated robots that are carrying out AI instructions, and then they start thinking on their own and decide that they want to rule the world. But it's coming. All this stuff is coming. Next time he goes into Costco, he sees Michael. Welcome to Costco. I love you. That may be my job, boys. I'm not above anything. I will take any job if it's... I do have a side note about Costco. It's interesting you brought that up. A friend of mine, her husband passed away a few years ago from cancer. He was a writer, and he was a co-writer on... Remember the Naked Gun movies? Really nice guy, really funny guy, very talented. But he co-wrote the Naked Gun movies, the Leslie Nielsen, Naked Gun 2.5 and 33 1/3, all those. He was a co-writer on those, and he actually had a bit part in those movies. And I knew him, and I actually did a little reel of his stuff for his memorial. But he passed away from cancer. But before he was having a hard time finding work, much like a lot of Hollywood is. This was about three years ago. He had taken a job at Costco, and Costco actually saved his medical bills because they paid for all of his medical bills while he was going through his cancer treatment. I'm like, Costco, I don't have so many bad things to say about Costco at the moment after hearing that and learning that her financial life was saved because of Costco. Whereas the WGA with the Writers Guild didn't step up and say, hey, we're going to, make sure you're taken care of. That kind of sucks. But it tells you where we're at as a society. Things are falling apart a little bit here. Ginger Hermit, AI is already reproducing accents to cover up the country where the sport calls are being handled. I know. You think you're speaking with someone from Alabama, and you're actually speaking to Bangalore. And that's Bangalore, Bangladesh, whatever. I get the point, though. And yeah, I think that that's probably true. Isn't that amazing? But we're getting... It's almost like a hoodwink in a way. We're getting fooled into thinking this stuff's real, and it's not. And, there are times when you call a call center, and they're giving you an AI person to answer your phone calls and answer your questions. And that's a little weird, isn't it? Like, you're talking to a person, but it's not a person, but they're understanding your words and they're responding after an unusual pause. Let me help you with that now. Oh, stop it. See if any of our merch came. Doesn't look like it. Looks like Mrs. Director is home, though. Isn't that interesting? And there's a bird on our fence. Okay. Where we become less and less human, less and less ourselves. Well, I think that's what the importance of things like this show, connecting with others, sharing our thoughts and our opinions and what's happening. I think that that's important, and that's why things like, I try to build the community over on Patreon, so we're all connecting and seeing each other in person and seeing that there's live people that actually enjoy this stuff. I think there's something about that. We need to stay connected as this AI stuff is going to start kind of separating us more and more. Lord knows I've been doing it politically for a number of years with AI, all with AI. It's all being done with AI, manipulating us into hating other people, manipulating us to think, I think we need to push back a little bit and remind each other that we're all people and nobody wants anybody to see anybody hurting, no matter what. It's already here, the AI version of him chatting tonight, JTV. Cheers, that's great. I like that answer. That might be the quote of the day. AI can be good assistants to help get some tax done, but he doesn't think they'll replace people. I can tell you firsthand it already is. It already is replacing people. Jobs are going away, and particularly in my end of the world, the creative professionals are finding it harder and harder to work because people are accepting AI as an entry. In the literary world, it's getting even tougher because even people who are published are sending their shit into AI and saying, "Can you give me a better version of this paragraph that I just wrote?" And AI is changing a lot of things, grammar correction, spelling, all of that. It's all AI. Looking for things that are not accurate. And did you mean to say this? No, I really did mean it was, it was an acronym. I meant what I wrote. You just didn't know the acronym. But it's already here. It's already replacing creative jobs left and right. I can promise you that. I know it because it's one of the many reasons that I've been able to have a hard time. It's one of the many reasons I've had a hard time getting work because AI is replacing a lot of what we do. So CPR, that's it. Thank you, Isoparametrics. Sorry, jumped ahead one or two because CPR is the name of it. I knew it was some heart-related thing. But it's really cool. It's a really interesting video. And I like the band. They're kind of post-punk. Fun. AI can be good assistants. We did that. There's already at least one robot band out there. Have you guys seen... There was a band... I had this open. But it was really cool because they're known for doing really complex music videos. I'm not a huge fan of their music, but hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it. Trying to remember the name of it. Oh, OK Go. There's a group called OK Go, and look up... just look at their videos because all of their videos are often one takes and they look like they are digitally enhanced, but it's all forced perspective. So they're taking one camera shot and they're moving the camera around, and all of the stuff they're doing is actually practical. And they've got one with robots where robots are moving cards in and out and doing things, and they actually got robots. They're not AI. It is not computer generated. It is actual robots doing things. But they're really known for their practical effect music videos. So the name of the group is OK Go. OK Go. 2 words. And look up their band name, and then you can you'll see some of their music videos. Check them out. It's fascinating stuff. And I was really hypnotic. I pulled some of it apart because I wanted to see. They did some making of, so I got a chance to see how they made the video, and I was really impressed. The level of craftsmanship that went into that music video was like, oh, the rehearsals, and what did they do? They had to do it in one take, so they go through the whole thing, and then at the last moment goes wrong. You've got to start from the beginning and do it again. You can't do a pickup. It's all one shot. Very impressive stuff. He's entirely interested in the mag. Has anyone had a listen? I have not heard the mag. I don't know. I have not, but I'll have to check it out. Arnold Schwarzenegger singing The Sound of Music. Ridiculous. You can't not laugh. I'll have to check that out. I do. I'm a human who has made music. Music doesn't have to have a singer. No, true. But I'm just my only point, Cheeky Fest, and I mean this in brotherly conversation, is that I think that I think I can call some of the stuff that AI is making music, and it's not, doesn't denigrate music, but it's actual music. Whether it's good or not is up to the listener, but they're doing it, and it certainly sounds like music, and it's, tonally accurate and maybe too accurate. That's going to be one of the things that makes a record great, is when you have a talented drummer who can throw stuff off the beat a little bit and make it work, and he's doing so intentionally. I mean, those are the super drummers and stuff. But that's going to happen. They're going to be able to do variants and stuff. They call it quantization. I don't know. But it's when you it's when you throw stuff off a little bit so that it sounds more natural when it's being generated by a computer. Drum machines have been doing that for years, working on their quantization. Throw me a life preserver, somebody. Quantization. Hello. That's my Ms. Director chiming in. Saw a great video last night about the Klingon musical scales and music theory in Star Trek. Oh, that's fascinating. I know they wrote a whole language. Like, Klingon is a whole thing, and somebody ran with it and developed stuff. It's amazing. Doesn't there have to be some intention, some choices behind it? I don't know, listen to EDM. I mean, there's stuff in EDM that I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. That kind of sounds cool. Let's just do that. There's a DJ creating that stuff that's like, huh. And that's really the start of it, isn't it? Wasn't EDM sort of like, maybe the drum machine was the start of it. Maybe we have to go back further. Or the synthesizer was the start of it. I mean, you still had to program the synthesizer. You still had to program a drum machine. But the machine took over, And maybe that's where it began. But then you get to EDM, where it's like guys are playing with samples and to a beat. But none of it is created there. It's just playback of loops and stuff, timed to a different music in a certain key. Milli Vanilli started this years ago. They are the ones who got busted for lip syncing. They didn't actually sing it, but they were actually, a real person did sing their songs. But it actually in person, in the flesh, in the same physical space. There are jobs that AI can't replace. That's true. I would say a camera person, I don't think you're going to see a robotic camera person ever. There's too much. You still need a user behind the camera. But jobs like mine, where there's direction, that's going away for sure. His day job may not be a human in person looking after children. Good robots. That's where you need the robots, guys. Imagine remapping the ASCII table with an updated value table. I mean, there's so many interesting places that this can go, and you can imagine if you just told AI to do it. You can go some interesting places. You could invent new languages, Thanks for the OK Go recommendation. Looks super cool. It is. Oh, go check them out. It's fascinating. It's the stuff that it takes a lot to get my interest. I've got to see something and go, wait a minute, how did they do that? At first I just thought it was all computer. And then I'm like, wait a minute, is this thing's going on? I'm like, I got a hunch this might be practical. They did practical forced perspective effects, and they did it all in one take. I'm like, oh, that is creative, man. That is hard to do. They had one video where they just handed the camera off to they were doing forced perspective, but they were handing the camera off to the different members of the group. And they were walking, doing some little bit of a forced perspective thing. It's really cool. M. Orange says he thinks it's called One Mic Series, and it's one take mic version of a song. And that's what they used to do back in the old days. I mean, that's how Elvis recorded. That's how Bill Haley and the Comets recorded. That's how old country music was recorded. I mean, it was all one take live in the room, you know. Man, quantify your quantitative quantizations. You just want to make my life hell for trying to say that sentence. I don't know much EDM. Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I don't get into the rave and the whole thing, but EDM is fun, but he likes it fused with other genres. NVNV Nation is a great example. Nephilim, you gotta send me some like links or something to some of this stuff so I can check it out. I'd like to see what you're referring to this, because I'm not. I will confess. I mean, listening to EDM at home at night in a room, I'm like, it's just so repetitive. I don't know if I can take it. And I've seen it attached to videos, and I've watched videos with EDM attached to it. It's just not something that I naturally go for. I do think that AI music is going to phase out some of these licensed music houses before long. I think you're going to be paying AI instead of paying Epidemic Sound, which is who does the music for most of my episodes. All this music that's playing in the background now is generated by Epidemic Sound. And I pay them a monthly fee to be able to use their songs, which I happen to like, and I think they sound nice. And I found a whole library of stuff, and that's sort of the tonal palette of this show. It's kind of jazz-based with some quirkier stuff for fun, but it's going to come a point in time in which it's going to price, you won't need an Epidemic Sound someday. You're just going to have AI do your music for you. Isoparametric started out with mod trackers on the Amiga and Atari ST. I remember the Atari 5200 had some programming you could do to it to have it make sounds and run through stuff. And you used to be able to do that programming in Apple and on BASIC and MS-DOS. You could do all that stuff. It was all possible, but it was all sine wave stuff. It didn't get too advanced, but it just changed. Jam and Spoon as well, another one. Okay. Quantization is used in DAW for DAW recordings. Syncs everything up if something's a little off beat. Yeah, but you can also alter that quantization now, and you can tell it to go 2% off. And so the drum hit isn't exactly precisely on the beat, and it makes it sound more human. Isn't that interesting? You can take an electronic creation of a drum track, dequantize it, and make it sound more human. It's kind of like, it's one of those you got to get your head around it kind of things, but it's true. I mean, that's what these DAWs are doing, is they actually have a flexibility around the quantization of your notes so that it feels more smooth and feels more like it was played by humans. Music videos, Michael Jackson, Peter Gabriel, Queen. Yeah, they've all done interesting stuff. It was just, I haven't seen something like that done in a while. This OK Go is really sharp. Check them out if you want. Something to look at. Just press Studio Magic button and an instant chart topper comes out. South Park. But it's getting to that. That's the thing. It's like, and it's unfortunate, but it's kind of getting to that, As long as AI music is created ethically, using permission, referenced with permission from the creators' performers. Yeah, but it's getting so good, it's hard to tell. You can say, well, that sounds like a Motown song, or that sounds like a Stax recording, and it's referencing that somewhere in its basis, but a copy of a copy of a copy. You get into these same questions we were facing 20 years ago with Napster. And sampling of the rappers who were sampling pop music and not crediting it. And they eventually got sued and they had to pay back to the original. But boy, it gets really confusing when it's like the product that's coming out isn't a knockoff of any given song. It just sounds like that genre. It just has that feel. It's interesting. do you owe Sam and Dave? Do I owe Sam and Dave a royalty because one of my happy hour songs sounds a little like Sam and Dave? It's not Sam and Dave. It's not sampling Sam and Dave, but Sam and Dave were probably a reference at some point, you know. But I don't know what they're referencing because they won't let you, when you're using AI, they won't let you put in an artist specifically. Like, you can't say, give me a Bruce Springsteen song that sounds like this, because the second it sees a name, it'll kick it out. Now, maybe there are some AI platforms that'll allow you to do that, but it's really crazy, you know. Isoparometric saw, good night, and cheers, Cheeky Fest. Thanks for contributing today. It's a great discussion. It's a great discussion. I love this discussion. Apparently not as much of the audience does. We've gotten dwindled in numbers, but we'll you know, we won't be on that much longer. But yeah. Saw an article on Spotify inserting some AI music into their stream so they can avoid playing royalties. That doesn't surprise me. Who owns the copy? Oh, hang on. No one does. And that's the interesting thing. Now, the B side to this Cheeky Fest that we haven't addressed is, will the AI companies be able to sue content people for using content created on their platform? Because technically their computers would own the copyright because they created it, even though I was at my instruction. It's like the photographer issue. If I snap a photograph of all of you, I own the copyright. You got to pay me if you want to duplicate this photo, if you want to use this photo for something else, even though it's got your image on it. There is a likeness rights, that's a different thing, but you know, you get into these harder core copyright questions, and it's challenging. That sampling thing happened relatively recently, Bittersweet Symphony. Yeah, I remember that, and they wound up having to pay. I'm trying to remember the name of the group who did Bittersweet Symphony. I had that record too. The Verve did it. Thank you. Thank you, Google, for filling out my AI. I just had to write Bittersweet, and it came up Symphony. The Verve. AI, guys, AI. AI can't mess with human spirit when it comes to music. Savvy listeners will know when something sounds fake and off. I think that's true today. And technically, I can tell if something's AI because there's a phasing that happens in the mid-range that sounds compressed to me. It's a little bit like the sound of when we used to take a really high-res file and convert it to MP3. There's a little bit of that, especially in vocals. I can tell pretty quick if something's AI or not. But that's going to change as the sampling and the sample rates get better and better. There's going to come a point in time when you can't tell the difference. And I can tell you already now, some people have come to me and asked. Some of the music I've done for my show was created on Fiverr using we hired somebody to create some jingles for us, and my wife, Mrs. Director, is actually singing on some of them. But some of the stuff is just done straight through AI, and it's all done at my, direction. But I've had people come to me and say, wow, where did you get that jingle created? I'm like, I did myself. I did. And so, you get into this question of stuff, but it's a slippery slope. Where's the line drawn, So Nephilim, I would say yes today, but not forever. There's going to come a point in time in which they perfect this. It's coming. It's a matter of time. If the computer created it, then you didn't. It's not your music. But if you're instructing the computer to say, I want a country song with a juice harp, a fiddle, a jug bass, a string bass and a guitar with gut string, and I want it to be a 3-minute piece with a tempo of 99 beats per minute. It's kind of a faster piece. And I want it to have sad lyrics about a horse that ran off and was never seen again. And it creates you a version of that, and then you say, that's great, but change the guitar part to an organ part, and change the, like you start tweaking it, and then you give it some lyrics and change the lyrics so it works a little better. And you start tweaking with it. Like you're interacting with it, so you're directing it, but the AI is doing the heavy lifting. And then for that matter, all music is derivative. All music is. Because everybody steals from everybody. I mean, in some way, even if it's subconsciously. I don't mean like steals outright. I'm like, but you start by being influenced by other guitarists. I mean, you can't tell me that Stevie Ray Vaughan isn't derivative of Jimi Hendrix. I mean, in some ways, he owes his success to Hendrix, because Hendrix fueled his Voodoo Child, his riffs on Hendrix stuff. I mean, he's a great guitar player, and he's maybe my favorite guitar player. But you can't deny that he's lifting from Hendrix's lexicon of guitar sound, and putting his own, Texas thing on it. But all music is, we all borrow from everybody. Everybody borrows from everybody else. Oh, I like what that is, but I want to do it this way, Very interesting, you bring up the Rolling Stones, who copied from Muddy Waters and, heard blues records in the 50s, and they recreated some, and then they kind of did their similar thing, but with a new set of lyrics, a new approach to it, but using the same language of blues. That's where the Stones got it. And then years later, the Black Crowes come along and lift the Stones. Or Oasis lifts the Beatles, and they're using the Beatles language to make music. It's derivative. Is it a copy? No, but it's derivative. And that's kind of what this AI is doing. It's deriving new versions from past stuff. But aren't all musicians doing that? You can't help but be affected by the music you've heard if you're a musician today. So it's interesting. Yeah, here's the phasing too. I agree. That's isoparametrics. M Orange says, would you CC the algorithm and the learning module used to train? Maybe. I mean, I think that's up to a court to decide. The Verve developed Bittersweet Symphony from a sample of the 65 version. I remember hearing that. Yeah. Last time by the Andrew Oldham Orchestra. I remember reading that now. Thanks for refreshing, Cheeky Fest. That's helpful. Imagine you told a songwriter to do that, and then it would be the songwriter's song, not yours. Yes, true. Imagine you're a film director and telling a musician what song you want for your film. It's not your song. Correct, because the musician is coming up with it, but the AI is coming up with it. But without your initial input, that wouldn't have happened. And as a director, I've worked with musicians and had them create stuff for my projects, and in some cases I actually played on that music as a musician just because it was fun and we were all hanging out and it was fun to do, and he wanted me to do something for it, so I contributed a guitar solo, which was really lame, but he had me play along on some of it because it was just fun. I gave him the full credit for being the music created by, and he actually asked me, Michael, you had a lot to do with it, and I'm like, yeah, but come on, man, just doing what's right. I gave him full credit. All this was, we didn't get paid much for any of this. But, What's the quote? Good artists copy, great artists steal. Yeah. I mean, it happens a lot, you know. It happens a lot. Isoparometric said he would think that in a world of cheap fakes and copies, there will be a desire for something real again. Yeah. I think, isn't that the dilemma we're having now? Because the singer-songwriter has gone again. Like, it always seems to loop around at some point, but we're not in an era of singer-songwriters anymore. We're in an era where songwriters are writing the songs for the singers to sing. There's very few people writing their own music, lyrics, and, you know, doing it all themselves anymore. They're getting sent music from somebody else who created the music, and then they're doing their own, you know, recording of it. And that's how it was back in the 50s when you had teen idols. You had great artists like the Brill Building providing music for these teen idols to sing. And the record companies were getting rich on it, but the singers weren't singing it. Sinatra was famous for calling out the writers of the music he was singing because he didn't write, and he wanted to be very clear during his concerts that he didn't write any of that stuff. He used to say in his concerts, this is a great Cole Porter number. This is a great song, but, you know, he would often point out, in fact, he always pointed out and gave credit to the songwriter because he wanted to let people know he's not writing this stuff himself. So, but interesting. This is an interesting discussion because it is deep, and it gets to the art of creation. And as an artist, as an artist myself who creates stuff for YouTube, good or bad, hateful or not, who gets credit for it in the end? You know, it's interesting. IP law is going to be around for a long time. But at some point, I would like to see the singer-songwriter reemerge again. The guy with his guitar, the Gordon Lightfoots, the Harry Chapins, the guys in the 70s who did it. James Taylor, who gave away a lot of his music, wrote a lot of songs that wound up with other artists. Or even bands that write their own stuff, the Cheap Tricks of the world, you know, the guys who came along later, but Aerosmith, and, you know, these are guys who wrote their own music. I don't think it's being done like that hardly at all anymore, but maybe it is. Maybe I'm out of touch, you know, could be. Anyway, do a couple more and then we'll say goodbye for this this wonderful Wednesday Hump Day Happy Hour. Took this to a really interesting place. You guys are really smart. I want to say that up front. You've given me a lot to think about. I've just given my opinions on it as we've gone along off the top of my head, but it is stuff to consider. And things we want to do. I do want to recap before we go. I'll go through the last couple of these in a second, but I do want to recap before we go. At the top of the show, I announced that the Director's Garage store is live, and I'm really proud of this, and I want you guys to be able to go check this out, and if there's anything there that you're enjoying or have any thoughts, please email me. But I built this for you guys. This is the website, the new website, meet our new collection, and this is where you can get your Director's Garage t-shirts, hats, all this stuff, all with this understated logo. And I'm going to be trying to market this stuff in the coming weeks in various ways, and we'll see what develops. But I did want to pass that along to you. Make sure you go to Patreon. This Saturday is HiFiman. HiFiman is going to be our guest. I've spent a year trying to get HiFiman on the show. We're finally getting them on Saturday. I'm crazy excited to get HiFiman on the show. On the Patreon show, $3 to get you in the door, and you'll get some benefits on the store if you do that. Little special gift. All right. Last couple, and then we'll say goodbye, guys. Real artist singers, Cheeky Fest, yes. Then a film company might not own the song, but they didn't create it. Oh yeah, that's IP stuff. That's all been debated for years. The songwriter always gets credit, but there's two sides of every copyright in the music world. There's the song rights, and then there's the performance rights, and both have to be purchased in order to use a particular song. Real artists, singers, Cheeky Fest, real musicians, performers, etc., humans creating and performing their own music. Well, yeah, and you know that I would love to. You know, we love to see that. We love to, and live music really is the. We all like seeing music live. We like to go to a club and listen to even if it's a jazz band or whatever. We like to see live music. Well, you can't do that if AI is doing it. You know, you're going to be playing a track live for people, and you basically become a DJ. Tim Panelli back in London back in the day, yeah, absolutely, another one. I just used Brill Building, but you know, Motown had its own version of that because Smokey Robinson wrote so much of the music for Motown that the other bands used. His biggest mistake was having the Little Rascals International Silver String Submarine Band may be his biggest influence. They're going to say the Rascals, which I loved. I love the Rascals. Tim Panelli has insane fidelity. Yeah, that's great stuff. Cheeky Fest says, I had singer-songwriters perform at 2 Cheeky Fests and the bands who wrote their own music. That's fantastic, man. I love that. Then can you say hi-fi, man? Nice play. Netflip says, it was also incredible how many people don't know where an original sampled beat came from. The message has been oversampled and played by others. Yes. And, you know, you think back to Wild Thing, Tone Loc, rip off of Janie's Crying from, you know, it was totally sampled. And eventually they, you know, and they got the rights to do that. They did it the right way. Publishing and recording. Yes, absolutely. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for this week's Hump Day Happy Hour Hangout. I'm so glad you guys stopped by today. It was a great discussion. Really gave a lot to think about. We got some good music recommendations. We talked about the things coming up on this weekend. I'd love to see you guys there. If you can, it's $3. It's $3, and I'm telling you, you're going to get in with an audience with HiFiman and a group of great headphone guys. Go on over to Patreon, and I'll send you links to that. I'm going to be sending them out probably tomorrow for the Hangover Hangout on Saturday. Then it all comes down after the Hangover Hangout. I got to take all this stuff apart and get ready for an open house. So thanks for stopping by today. Tip your waiters and waitresses on the way out. That means give this show a thumbs up for some reason if you can. And I got to get to our outro music because, you know, it is the outro. But yeah, thanks for stopping by today. It really means a lot. And have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you guys before you know it. How about that? Fun show.